Snowball would be the very first polydactyl calf on this property. Polydactyl is a college term for too many digits. Snowball was a six-toed wonder. Those polydactyl calves were treasured good luck charms on the merchant vessels from Europe. The sailors called them gypsy cats. Snowball was a gift to the Hemingway boys for delivering a message over here at our harbor one afternoon. They came home with their six-toed reward. Their dad, who was already a cat fancier, was delighted. He tried to keep that bloodline alive the entire time he was here. He was very successful. We're still working on that. We have 44 of his offspring on the property, all directly related to that busy little Snowball in there. That's very close to the number of cats Ernest enjoyed when they lived here. Friends and neighbors would ask him why so many cats. He would just shrug and grin and say one cat leads to another. That's about all he had to say about it. We know that he named them after famous people. We still do. You'll find cats here by the name of Harry Truman, Lionel Barrymore, Mae West, Marlena Dietrich. My all-time favorite is no longer around. His name was Mr. Betty Davis. I think they named him just a little too quick. The sad part of that story, folks, here in Key West, it went by almost completely unnoticed. These cats get good care. They rarely leave our property even when they die. We have a pet cemetery at the end of that red brick walkway, a fun place to look around after the tour, see some of the famous names we've had over the years. This polydactyl gene that makes them grow too many toes seems to work about half of the time. Currently, half of these cats have 6, one of them has 7 toes. The remaining cats, like my 2 calicos here, regular cat paws, 5 on the front, 4 on the back. Our second largest expense on this entire estate is these cats. The little white building was a carriage house that my lady converted to a guest cottage. The room upstairs, a hayloft that he took for his writing studio. He demanded privacy when he worked. At the time he lived here, the only way in or out of his studio was a narrow catwalk from his studio door over to their veranda. He would wake at 6, go straight to that studio and start writing. About 700 words later, or lunch, whichever came first, he would call it a day. Then it was down to Key West Bight to team up with Fuentes aboard the boat Pilar. They were out into these waters to fish up the daylight. With the fishing done, happy hour at Sloppy Joe's bar. Nasty work, we all agree, that has to be done after all that hard fishing. But while he was in Joe's for happy hour, he was skillfully getting our locals to tell on themselves. He would listen carefully by the hour. When it was time to come home, good chance he did need that lighthouse on occasion. But at 6, he would faithfully be back in his studio, writing down all the stories he'd listened to the night before. Ammunition for future use. He was here 9 years, 31 to 40. During that time, 8 publications came from that little studio. Those would be Death in the Afternoon, The Have and Have Not, The Snows of Kilimanjaro, The Green Hills of Africa, The Short but Happy Life of Francis McCumber, Islands in the Stream, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and the entire Nick Adams series. That amounts to more than half of his entire life's work. His old studio was just like he left it in 40 when he went to Cuba. If you'd like to have a look, be my guest. I'll wait for you by the pool. I have some fun stories for you.